They called her the Cyclops, the largest ship in the United States Navy. Longer than the Titanic, heavier, built to carry mountains of steel and fuel across the Atlantic. But in March 1918, she vanished. No distress call, no wreckage, not even an oil slick. 309 souls gone. And to this day, no one truly knows why. Some say it was a storm. Others whisper of sabotage, espionage, or something stranger. A disappearance so complete, it feels like the ocean itself erased the truth. The USS Cyclops was born from steel and ambition, a colossus of her time, stretching over 500 feet long, built in Philadelphia, 1910, armed not with guns, but with cargo holds big enough to feed an army. When World War I erupted, the Cyclops became vital. She hauled manganese ore, the metal that hardened every bullet and tank. She sailed between Brazil, the Caribbean, and America, moving the lifeblood of war. But the sea around her had a reputation. The Bermuda Triangle, a place sailors feared long before maps drew its edges. A stretch of ocean where compasses failed, skies changed color, and ships simply stopped existing. It began innocently. On February 16, 1918, Cyclops left Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Her cargo holds full, her crew restless but confident. Captain George Worley, a German-born officer known for his discipline, commanded the ship. He sent a message home to Maryland, "All is well." That was the last anyone ever heard from him. By March 13th, she was overdue by 10 days. Search crews scoured the Caribbean Sea. Not a single lifeboat, plank, or body was found. President Woodrow Wilson would later say, "Only God and the sea know what happened to the great Cyclops. Ships sink. It happens. But the Cyclops didn't just sink. She vanished. No SOS was ever sent, no radio contact, and she was in calm weather when last seen. Other ships in the same waters reported nothing unusual. No explosions, no wreckage adrift, nothing. It was as if a hole had opened in the ocean and swallowed her whole. Over the decades, scientists, historians, and conspiracy hunters have offered explanations. Some say it was a catastrophic structural failure, a crack in the hull that split her in two without warning. Others blame the cargo, manganese ore, so dense it could shift and capsize a ship in seconds. Then there are the whispers of espionage. 1918, the final year of World War I. Rumors spread that Captain Worley, a German immigrant, was a spy, that he might have defected, handing the ship over to the enemy. But no proof ever surfaced. No message, no sighting in enemy ports, nothing but silence. Here's where it gets stranger. The Cyclops wasn't alone. Two of her sister ships, Proteus and Nereus, both vanished in the same region under almost identical conditions decades later. Same design, same cargo, same fate. 3 ships, over 500 souls, all gone without a trace. If this was engineering failure, why only in that part of the world? If it was a natural disaster, why no debris? If it was warfare, why no records? Every answer leads to more questions. The ocean is Earth's last great wilderness. It covers 70% of our planet, and we've mapped less than a quarter of its floor. Down there, light doesn't reach, sound bends and twists. Pressure crushes steel like paper. In that darkness, a ship the size of a cathedral could vanish and never be found. Maybe the Cyclops still rests there, intact, silent, and watching from the deep. Or maybe she was never meant to be found at all. Modern researchers have tried to solve the Cyclops mystery with logic. The Navy believes the ship likely capsized during a sudden storm between Barbados and Puerto Rico. The manganese ore shifted, destabilizing her massive hull. One tilt, one wave, and the Cyclops rolled over, sinking instantly. But even then, where are the remains? Wreckage of that size should have been found by now, by sonar, submarines, or modern mapping. And yet, nothing. No coordinates, no confirmation, only the sound of the ocean hiding her secrets. Among the 309 were sailors, engineers, musicians, and sons who never came home. Families waited for letters that never arrived. Wives wore black for years, hoping for a miracle. The Navy listed the Cyclops as lost at sea. But for those left behind, she was never just lost. She was stolen, and by something they couldn't name. Even today, over a century later, descendants of the crew still gather in Maryland. They light candles, they speak the names of those who never returned, and they look toward the Atlantic as if expecting to see a shadow on the horizon. The USS Cyclops was more than a ship. She was a symbol of progress, of human confidence in technology, and of how small we still are before nature's power. In a world obsessed with control, her vanishing reminds us that some things remain beyond our grasp. Maybe she sank in a storm. Maybe she was pulled into a magnetic anomaly. Maybe she was taken by the sea itself, a debt collected for every voyage mankind has ever made. Whatever the truth, the Cyclops became a ghost story for the modern age. A reminder that even our greatest creations can simply vanish. Somewhere in the Atlantic, beneath miles of black water, no light, but perhaps the ship is still there, her hull covered in coral, her cargo untouched, her crew frozen in time, suspended between life and memory. And maybe one day, someone will find her, not to solve the mystery, but to remember that we are still explorers in a world we barely understand. Because the sea doesn't give up its secrets. It just waits, listening, endlessly patient, eternal.